for Zubir. To those who think, especially to the police who think he's such a humble man, Zubir only plays dumb and pretends to be humble. I've literally just got back. I just washed a few dishes that were in my sink and was about to prepare something for myself to eat. And I've broken a bowl and it scratched me a bit. And he just said, good. He's not in my flat. I'm here alone. He's in flat 4 Oak House. Now I know that there is nothing to the naked eye that says he's recording me, but they have disclosed that they are doing that. Now, why would such a humble person be so pleased that I just broken something? Now, if I was not wearing these thick socks, I may have cut myself. So this is the guy who pretends and chooses when to hang out with other Muslims or try to associate. But he did say, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a radicalist. Very hateful man. He caused 2 of my other glass big pots to break. The first time, there was no explanation. The second time, he had hacked a conversation that was ongoing between Jonathan Charakupa and Helen Mashunganyika. Now, Helen is one of his sexual partners, and apparently he was very angry that she was pursuing my ex-husband at the time. Now, we didn't have much of a relationship left by the time we were trying to meet for my birthday, and apparently the discussion that was being exposed at the time was that Helen had offered herself in my place while I was present with Jonathan Charakupa, and she suggested that he offer me a beating because she was in an abusive, apparently she was in an abusive relationship before, and she wanted him to see if I could take a beating. She had convinced him to say, I think you're a very violent person, so you might as well see if your wife can cope with that. We were trying to reconcile. Our relationship was not going well. I had thought there might be nothing left, but he invited me to visit him after my birthday so we could spend some time together. The things we discussed were property management and possibly traveling to Istanbul to get my dental care done, until things changed at some point while I was cooking after I'd driven all the way there, and she decided that as someone who is a driver, she should have him instead. So she offered him and said, get her out of there somehow so that she could start a relationship with him. So Zubir got actually really angry. Hey, Zubir got really upset that Helen had pursued Charakupa so intentionally. Now we have nothing left between me and Jonathan, except sometimes I hear him in the audience, in Zubir's audience, saying that he's feeling sorry for me, that maybe he should give me access to his property in Zimbabwe. That hasn't been for a while because Ellen then approved for somebody else, for Lucy Sisichirengo, to become his partner. I'm not opposed to any of that because they did pass on something to each other that makes it impossible for me to become a mother if I reconciled with him. So I don't wish him bad, but he does wish me bad. I had to counter report to the police as he had done, to just ensure that whoever I progress my life with will be safe with me, that I will be safe firstly, and that he will be safe, because Helen continues to influence him to say you have to try and ambush her so that the relationship breakdown will not be your fault. But it was already his fault because he was already in other relationships and had already invested in getting another woman a car. I was just bearing with him like a good wife and trying to see if something would come back from it. But I started to make steps as well because I realized that nothing might come out of this. And the only thing that I got out of that conversation was that he said if he ever got caught to be the one at fault for the breakdown of the relationship, he would then give me one of his properties. In fact, he seemed to have been promising that the slow one is the property he will give me access to, because he had then realized that I can manage a property, and if he had to be in prison, at least I could take care of his property and be supportive of him, because I'm a good person. Back to the initial reason for this video is just to disclose that Zubia Francis is a very monstrous person. Monstrous. He's like a monster. He's not nice at all. He can play dumb. Apparently, there was a discussion in the audience yesterday that happy Thanksgiving, he does all this making people disappear as a criminal. And in his family, they've had to change their names quite a few times, because Zubia is drawn to people who respond back to him aggressively. And it's not always possible to respond to him calmly, because he's very aggravating. So when Zubia aggravates you and you respond with aggression, apparently this turns him on. To me, that's quite disgusting, because Zubia is just no one to me, and yet he's been claiming that I'm his wife. I really don't understand his rationale. He just does not think coherently. But he uses a lot of reasons to pretend he's innocent. He said things like, no, it was a family discussion being exposed. He was apparently having a private conversation. Apparently, he can still have private conversations, while he has burgled me and hidden some sort of recording devices in my flat. Not very visible to the eye, but I think he's done something major, because this situation is not simple, and it's not a normal civilian sort of situation. I'm facing what I realize is a very organized criminal. Apparently, when he first attended to this flat next door, he had known already about the building, the construction of this building, and he knew which flats to enter into. So he found Hannah in there after she had been placed by somebody else who doesn't own the flat. Apparently, she was there to lure another man who actually owns the flat, so that they can prove that he was wrong in his relationship breakdown. Can you see the pattern of events here? Now, this was disclosed much more recently, but what was disclosed at the time when Zubia decided to break my pots, as he has done today, to express himself and say, good, he's pleased that I broke something. He is someone who gets away with murder because he plays dumb and plays the humble card. So to people who have faced him, people who have taken his part or not disclosed their suspicions. So this time, yes, I did drop the ball as I was clearing up. But he has in the past made things fall over. We share a wall, and these guys used to crash into my wall quite a lot. So my board, last time, it fell over twice and almost caused a fire the second time, and the pot was broken. Zubia is a very cruel man. I'm appealing to those who have faced him, who have tried to calm him down. There's one particular person who may have been on the phone on the night of the 17th of August, when you were trying to calm him down after he had been so aggressive, demanding that I leave my flat so that he can break into my flat. Please, could you actually call the police and just report it, even if it's anonymously? Because there is another young man who lives with him in there, who came out and actually said, Zubia, what are you doing? Are you trying to give yourself up? So I need whoever has come across Zubia, if you've escaped him at any point, even if he's already harmed you, I need people to actually stand up and say something. Because Zubia is a very cruel man. he should really not be allowed to be free in this society. To just pretend to speak softly and play humble while he's such a cruel person who is actually threatening to bring down buildings and hiding behind his feud with Hannah. I mean, they have a lot of things that they discuss in there. Sometimes it's only uniting just to hide their criminal activities, but they're not totally united. I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, when there is an investigation, people can still be arrested and the investigation goes on, even if it's for burglary. Because by the time someone is given leeway to still be free in the community after burglary, after crashing into someone else's door to try and open the doors, and then given a year, and then starts to laugh that he's not a Muslim, he's a radicalist, and starts to laugh that he had a hand in the Indian Airways blowing up. Come on, I mean, shouldn't he be arrested? And then you investigate? Because that little black box was probably inconclusive. But we have someone here who's claiming it, and that's what terrorists do. They claim their part. He's already done this, and he's actually got an audience who he presents his recordings to. He threw a tantrum once during these last few months, and quite more recently, if it wasn't in the last 2 weeks, he actually threw a tantrum. He was angry that I reported something to the police that he hadn't said yet, because I reported his attack before he rationalized it. Now, that's not really my job to present his rationale for attacking me, because most of the time what I hear is he's expecting to be arrested by the police, but while he's waiting, he's going to be taking it out on me. Why? Why should a criminal be allowed to be so entitled to this level, to this extent? Why? I mean, you only have to see the video where he's actually admitting. I was fortunate enough to pick up when he snapped into English, because he had been speaking in a different language when he was on the phone ranting and raving about how he wanted to be in my flat, how he wanted me to be gone out shopping so that he comes into my flat and burgles. I've since changed my locks. I had put on chains, but I had to change the lock. And I'm a few payments behind my mortgage now. I was in a safe bracket, but now I've gone over just a bit. Because even after that, when I had money, he hacked me again. I was going to change my name. He still had hacked me, while plotting that when I go to the shop, he's going to get me arrested, because they had already planted a situation. Now, Romford community, at least, is starting to express a turnaround. They've started to express that this girl is not violent, that I do not deserve the treatment that I'm getting. They do not want to be a part of making me aggressive or coming at me aggressively, because it's unjust, it's unrealistic. I am not that person. I am not the comparison of Hannah, his partner in crime, might I say, because she's with someone else. So let me not say, they did lie before, but they're not together, whatever. But last night, they were talking about how they were going to cover up their criminal activity and get married before they get into prison. This is following her partner after he's been trying to prove to her that he's not interested to me by attacking me, and then them uniting against him, that they might kill him because he talks too much. Because I have now found out that he is a videographer, and he had said this video will not work out because she's not appearing sexy enough. This is when I was about to shower. So now I pray in my shower. Anytime they raise their voices in the shower, I start to pray. I don't understand how this can be allowed to go on. I mean, to the naked eye, yes, nothing is being seen. But I think there needs to be a much more thorough response. First, maybe by arresting them. Let them disclose what it is they're doing in my flat. Besides the studio amplifying voices thing, besides that, what are they doing in my flat? What have they been doing all these years? Apparently, he started experimenting with Hannah. She's the one who was going through this for quite some years. While they were pretending to be husband and wife, they've not been getting along. He's been treating her as if she's a mental health patient or something. I don't know. They've just been having a lot of fights. So, and apparently he raped her when he got there. But she endured or something. I mean, to me, she only told me a few months later when I met her, and she said they're married. So I guess maybe she was hopeful that things were working out. But this year, she campaigned again to be married to him, and he just shamed her. And then more recently, she's admitted to the police that she's a mental health patient. Do you know, amongst other admissions, that both of them were going to kill Adam the son. I just think, the police just need to intervene somehow, because while they groom other people, they still put them in danger. They still want to kill them in there. Unfortunately for me, I'm still at the receiving end, and they want to express things like, while they're waiting for the police to come and arrest them, they'll still take things out on me. This is not fair. I'm a human being. I don't like how I'm being treated inhumanely. I never signed up for any of this. For someone to be able to lie and tell people that you're their wife, while all this time they've been claiming that they're in a marriage with Hannah, even calling teams of people against you to question you about interfering in their relationship, and then to find out only in 2 weeks that there is no relationship. It's actually non-existent. It's just a sexual swinging club. But you've been persecuted by people asking you over and over, and they're trying to stop you from proceeding into a relationship. I mean, when I was with Charakupa, when we started with Charakupa, these teams came at me and were asking me, what do you mean you're married? They were trying to put me away for saying that I was married to someone, only to find out when they did eventually come to my address with a warranty and a section to say you're crazy, that you're married to somebody else. Then they start telling me, I mean, the panel that they put me to are the ones who started telling me that we know your husband is actually a budding politician and that you are in political trouble. Do you know, I read it the other day and I actually was thinking about it, that some of these people, some of this stuff that happened, I mean, his current partner now, apparently she was dating a politician, a married man. So she does have these sort of aspirations. I don't know if Jonathan knows about it, but I don't really mind their affiliation, except that I think it might be putting me in a bad light somehow. That I would not like. Otherwise, I really don't mind. I am pro-marriage, and as long as she manages to keep him out of my hair and not interfering with my life or my partner's, or trying to influence how I progress, I really don't mind. I mean, if he had given me the money, I would have taken his name out of my life. She could have been the missus by now, but he won't give me the money. So I'm very grateful that it was disclosed who he is, that while I was being put away, they finally realized that, okay, he is a real person, and they acknowledged it. But the only problem is coming back at me about somebody else's relationship. Come on, that is so inappropriate. Perhaps it was a tip-off, because they didn't seem to know that it was him. Only after the meeting, he started owning it, that yes, I sent them. She's been disturbing my relationship through the emails she's writing to the police. Now, if that's not proof enough that this guy is hacking me, I'm writing emails to businesses, trying to communicate with stakeholders on my property who are requiring bills that he apparently is even influencing, and calls them after I've spoken to them to say that this is my wife, she's not okay. Come on, I'm not his wife. This is Zubia Francis. His name finally turned up on my desktop. I submitted that too. I was in shock, trying to take a business opportunity, and his name turned up on my desktop. Zubia is such a vindictive, cruel man. And perhaps he's been thinking what he did to Hannah is what he'll do to me, because he actually took on Helen's suggestion to rape me. I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to pick her up, throw her over my shoulder, and rape her. He actually thinks he's going to get my property by doing these things. And he forgets I'm a homeowner. I'm not a social housing person. So this is quite unfortunate. You know what? When you're watching this video, I do need help to report these issues to the police. I really do need help, because I have done what I can. The confessions and admissions of the crimes are not coming as much anymore, but I am now picking up some things from the audience when they disclose how the conversations between him and his father have been happening or being exposed, how his conversations with his son are coming up. Even the conversations between him and Hannah, they had a fight the other night. That's when we found out that Zubir had actually raped Hannah when he attended, which is, I don't know, it's quite a tricky situation, because she was already placed there to seduce the homeowner so that she presents the evidence that he cheated on his ex-wife. But then she got raped by someone else instead, and then she decided, okay, I'm calling him my husband, he's my husband. And then years later, this guy is like, I'll never marry you, look at you, what kind of dress is that, blah 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 blah. And the woman chopped her hair. It's just, I really do not want to be involved with this pair. And last year they were very, very intimidating, calling in the punters to come through their doors, teaching them how to be aggressive towards me, recording and presenting things, demonstrating how he can beat me up without people realizing that he is behind it. I mean, now most of Romford community can tell when he's attacking me. I can be seated out there. People are uncomfortable. Sometimes they giggle to cover it up, to mind their own business. But it's so uncomfortable. And then on one hand, you have his other agenda of trying to get me arrested and trying to get people to look at me as if I'm an aggressive person, because this is what he was doing to Hannah. I will never be that person. Never be that person. I mean, it's just impossible. It's not me. I do not have a criminal past like that. Apparently she has. So he was getting away with it all this time. Probably intimidating her because he works in the NHS or he wears the lanyard. I don't even know anymore, because I never really saw him working in the NHS. But I did see him as a security guard. But he could be a master of disguise, because I did see him in construction clothes too, and apparently in that time he did nothing. He didn't know anything. The man's been jealous of me holding a drill. And the whole time he was trying to beat me the things that he can do when people can't see. And now he's gone to the level of he will do it to people who are around me. He will try to do it to people who are coming towards me. I think there's some sort of app that people know to use. So when people approach me, he will intimidate them in that manner. The other day, there were some women who felt what he did to me. I mean, I don't know. It's becoming very, very difficult for people to come up or ignore what he's doing. And the police keep saying, need to wait for evidence before they can do something. Only one officer who, before, I disagreed with his methods before, but he then turned up one time in their audience and said, nope, Zubir, just come out, let me take you to the police station. To me, that was progress. I don't know actually if he was calling him by the phone or he was in the audience. I'm not sure, because there's so much audible noise. But at least that was a result. Because prior to that, he was saying, I'm going to have to call the other police to take you in. But that time he actually said, no, please step outside. The other time, the other couple of police people who came were lied to that he had moved out. I had to send some videos and actually say this is him. Because while they have my bank statements in there and other documents, property documents, apparently they have been lying that and impersonating me or present themselves as Rumbi. Come on. Just because I've changed my name and I'm using a different name, then they start lying that their names are Rumbi in there. Until then, the next cover up was pretending that Hannah is a mental health patient. Now, I understand that sometimes where a lawyer can advise a criminal, they can say now the only option is to say you're a mental health patient or you're going under some sort of mental health psychosis or something. This couple cannot be getting away with murder and things equivalent just because they cry wolf or cry mental health. It's so inappropriate because the Metropolitan website actually says that these people are terrorists. Zubia did say, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a radicalist in July. And I think they should really be treated as such. And urgency equivalent to that should really be applied. Perhaps forced to, because these guys, you cannot just talk to them. When they were stealing from me and had my things in their flat, I actually said to them, because they were saying, we can give you back your things, but you won't like it because we're still doing a ritual. One of those things was my big bath towel. It was returned to me the next day on the 18th of August when I went to report to the police. I've got the police reference for that. Now, what I didn't appreciate about all that was I told them, no, you guys, since you guys are pretending to be innocent, why don't you take my stuff over to the police station, go and do your pretense thing, tell them that you've got things lost and found, and then I will take my stuff from the police, because I did not appreciate getting stuff from them directly. They broke back into my flat, folded up the towel and stuck it under my pillow. I had to put it in a plastic and put it aside. That was the first time I took ordering a washing machine seriously. And then they interrupted the delivery because they hack. They hacked the systems, they called the people, they disrupted the business communication and so on. I still haven't got a refund from that. I tried to get another washing machine. They still interrupted. Eventually, they hacked me. I still couldn't get anything. I had to just boil water, put bleach, and get some oil. Anointing breaks every chain. So I had to do it that way. So this is a very, 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 very sensitive situation. It's not just about kicking me out of my flat. And if there is a strategy that police have for them to be able to apprehend these people, it can't be just about trying to force me back into a relationship with Jonathan Charukupa in Slough when he's actually got somebody else. And actually, that is not something that I have to disclose to them, because I think they already know. So I really do not need to be pressurized by everyone that I talk to about my life. Even if it's business communications, I really do not have to be pressurized to be explaining that I am no longer in a relationship with Jonathan Charukupa. It's moved on countless times. I'm sure there's been like 5-6 women before he called me back. And now they're actually discussing commitment between Helen and Lucy. Some sort of situation is going there. Helen approved for Lucy to be there, but it's really none of my business. I really don't have to disclose that. It's got nothing to do with me. I've moved on too. Just in a bit of in my own situation, because mine is international. I'm just raise money. I cannot even get the universal credit stuff. Apparently, I'm in a pickle in that sense too, because someone wants Zubia. And Zubia is busy telling the community that I'm his woman. Please, for the record, let me clarify right now. Months ago, that I am not anyone to Zubir. He's just treating me like a victim of his abuse, of his criminal activity. This guy is a terrorist. Okay, I want nothing to do with this guy. He's been trying to and advertising himself to many people. You know, I think I should just get my money, and whoever's giving me my money, and if you want him, please, just, it's flat 4. You already know. Please just do your thing. I'm not in your way at all. Not at all. I'm tired of people pointing me out as if I'm the problem in their relationship pursuits or in their relationships. Please, spare me. Spare me. I'm no threat to your relationships. If you understand the whole filming thing to audiences, report it. If you don't want your husband or your boyfriend to be seeing me, report. Shut this stuff down. Help me shut it down. If you're more interested in being the one who is being filmed and stuff, I don't know, tell the police and volunteer. I mean, I really don't know what else to suggest or what the solution is. But please leave me out of it. Because, no, come on, people need to calm down. I've never been interested in Zubir at all. Whether he was married, and even when I found out that those people were not married to each other. I've never ever been interested in Zubir. Ever. I'm just a polite person, and he must never take that for granted. You can't turn me into a Hannah just because he's attracted to violence. And please don't expect me to be holding you accountable when you're not coming correct. I will watch you and ignore you. This whole you're doing a daily thing, daily blame game thing and shifting the bar on me. Please. Don't be doing it looking at me thinking, what if my husband? No. I could care less for your husband. I don't even know you. You're just doing your job as far as I'm concerned. Don't make it personal, please. Your husband, your boyfriend, whatever you're learning from these people are a gang. They are passing on sexual health diseases. This is not normal. I am still a nurse. I can tell you this. I almost became a doctor. I can tell you this. They are the ones with experiences with mental health and stuff. They just have not sought out the help. This guy is desperately seeking help for his health. That's why he would submit to an arrest. Because he's been attacking doctors, even physically. Apparently, he tried to drown someone. Please, help me report Zubir Francis to the police. Or whatever you know, whatever you've heard. Even on my channel, even if it's in the community, Romford community. He's defamed the Muslim community so much. I'm very thankful he finally owned up that he is not a Muslim, he's a radicalist. And when you go on the Metropolitan Police website, his criminal activities actually amount to terrorism. He enjoyed blowing up the Indian Airways. Please, let's not be sitting ducks to actually find out that we have a criminal in Romford that we have all known and just played along a game. I have not been part of it. This game was designed against me. Because I'm a human being who's refusing to play ball. I will not be made a prostitute for Zubir's pleasure. I will not cover up his crimes as Hannah has done. If he so much as tries to touch me, I will not go down quietly. I will not be a sitting duck for Zubir to attack. When I go to throw my bin away, I have to arm myself so that he doesn't ambush me in the corridor now. But Zubir is quite audacious. My camera was on my door when he was huffing of my property. The communal cameras for the building are working. They're still there. He was huffing and puffing in the communal area, trying to force me out of my property on the 17th, night of the 17th of August. He already had a schedule and was reacting as if we had made a plan. Excuse me? I am no one to Zubir. He is no one to me. He's a criminal. I will never be his wife or partner or anything like that. I'm not sure why he gets so confused. Oh, apparently there was a thing about his wife kicked him out of the house. She was standing up to him, and he was getting confused one day when I stood up to him. From behind the wall, he will actually respond quite coherently, most times with violence. I never stand with him or sit with him. Neither have I ever lain with him, and that will never ever happen.